You wake up in a dark, cold dungeon. You don't remember how you got here, and you don't know what's going on. You rub your head because it hurts. Your ears are ringing. Hey, calm down and focus. Creepy puzzles are waiting for you, and at the end of the video, you'll see how good at them you are. You see several strange symbols scratched on a brick wall. It's 4 vertical stripes, 3 stripes below, and a check mark even lower. Next, you come to a grid. A huge rusty lock is hanging on it. There's no key. Look around and try to figure out how you can get out. Have you noticed that brick that sticks out of the wall? Try pushing it. Ha! It worked! A secret door opens and you make your way outside. You go down the stairs and see a large hall. Several torches light up and you spot 4 huge mirrors. They reflect Frankenstein, a skeleton, a zombie, and a vampire. One of these creatures is a human being. Can you guess who it is? Vampires don't get reflected in the mirror, so you're looking at a human. He gives you a small bone and warns that you will need it. You get outside and realize you're in the courtyard. This is the territory of a large, sinister castle. There are no clouds in the sky, and the sun is hidden behind one of the tall towers. You can see 3 gates ahead. A werewolf is next to the first one. A second gate is guarded by a huge scorpion the size of a car. And the third gate has a scary, alive gargoyle. Something is wrong here. Find out what exactly. The sun is shining brightly, so there's no full moon. So what's a werewolf doing here? It's just a human in a costume. The werewolf opens the gate and you go through. You're back in the castle and step into a small room. There are cobwebs everywhere and a lot of garbage on the floor. You can see a jar of salt on the table and a note on the wall. It says, "A circle of salt." You decide to take the jar just in case. At this point, a slippery, viscous liquid starts dripping onto your shoulder. You look up and see a big spider descending towards you on its web. You run away and see 3 doors. You can hear screaming behind the first one. Behind the second door, you hear the sound of a chainsaw. A dog is barking behind the third one. Quickly, you've got to decide where to go. Run to the third door. Yeah, you'll meet an angry dog, but you have a bone. You throw it, and the dog immediately feels better. It nibbles on its trophy and forgets all about you. On the floor, you can see human footprints that lead to the next door. You push the handle down. It's locked. Look around the room and find the key. The dog is gnawing on the bone and the key is glinting on its collar. You pet the dog and gently remove the key from its neck. You open the door. It's dark and you can't see anything. You take a small step forward and fall into a deep hole. Fortunately, you're not hurt. On the ground, you find an old MP3 player with headphones. It still has some battery left. Great, you put it in your pocket. You can't climb up the smooth walls of the pit, but you can see that someone has thrown down 2 ropes for you to get out. One rope is white and slightly shining. The other looks quite ordinary. Choose which you should use to get out. The white rope is a spider web. The spider is still chasing you, so you choose the normal rope. You get out of the pit. The rope is tied to a marble pillar. You untie it and put it in your pocket. You slowly walk down a dark corridor and hear a growl behind you. It's a werewolf. The full moon is out. You run out of the corridor and find yourself in the street. There are 3 paths ahead of you. The first road is covered with lava. The second one is swarming with snakes. And the third road leads to a poisonous lake. Hurry up, the werewolf is coming. There's a shoe lying right on the water on the left side of the lake. This means that the lake is frozen. You're sliding on the ice and falling. The werewolf is still chasing you, but it slips too, and you have time to run to the solid ground. There's a massive tower ahead. You run inside and close the door. You find yourself in a circular hall lit by torches. Human faces appear on the walls. Their hands begin to reach out. The phantoms are slowly approaching you. They're everywhere, surrounding you. What will you do? Remember that jar of salt and the note saying, "a circle of salt"? You should spill salt around you, and the phantoms won't dare cross that line. You do, and then wait for a while, and they disappear. You climb up a spiral staircase to the top of the tower. The door slams shut behind you. There's one window and an iron torch stand mounted on the wall. In the center of the room, you notice a wide bed, surrounded by a white veil. You push the veil aside with your hand and see that 2 zombies are sleeping there. They open their eyes, get up, and slowly walk towards you. What are you gonna do now? Use the rope you found before, tie it to the torch stand, and go down through the window. Great! The zombies are too stupid to pull the rope back. You're on the ground and see a car. At this moment, the werewolf breaks out of the castle. You get into the vehicle and lock the door. The werewolf hits the window with its paws. You can't find the key. It's probably in the glove compartment, but it has a 3-digit combination lock. Recall the beginning of your adventure and try to guess the code. Hurry up before the werewolf breaks the glass. In the dungeon where you woke up, there were several signs on the wall. 4 vertical stripes, 3 stripes below them, and a check mark even lower. The check mark is the Roman numeral 5. Then the code is 435. You take out the key, start the engine, and drive away. You leave the castle but realize the car's brakes don't work. There are 3 roads ahead. A brick wall is at the end of the first one. The second road leads to a burning forest. And the third road ends on a high hill with a cliff. What path will you choose? There's almost no time. You're driving too fast. Release the gas pedal and drive up the hill. The speed will soon drop. At one point, you'll be able to get out of the vehicle. You jump out of the car and it falls off the cliff. You go around the hill and get into a swamp. You make your way through the marsh and see 3 women in front of you. Which one is a mermaid? The woman in the middle has something strange on her neck. Those are gills. The second girl has webbed fingers. The girl on the left seems normal. She's a human. You pass through the swamps and find yourself on the seashore. An old motorboat is lying on the sand. You push it to the water, start the engine, and climb inside. You go far away from the island with the castle. In the distance, you see some rocks and shipwrecks. You slow down and hear beautiful singing. It's coming from several women staying on top of the rocks. They're sirens. Using their singing, they lure sailors whose ships crash against the rocks. You move straight toward them and can't resist it. The rocks are getting closer and closer. Do something, quickly! You still have your MP3 player you found in the pit. You put on the headphones, turn on the music, and go away. The engine stalls. Far ahead, you can see an outline of another island. You grab an oar and start rowing. A few hours pass, you're hungry and thirsty. There are fish swimming in the water, and you find a can of worms in the boat. But how can you catch them without a fishing rod? Use one of your shoelaces. Tie the bait to it and lower it into the water. It works! You catch a few fish, but then you notice a shark's fin. It circles you and pushes the boat. The island is really close, but you need to get away from the dangerous creature. How are you going to solve this problem? Throw the fish you've caught as far as possible. This will distract the shark and give you some time to get to the shore. Whew, done. But unfortunately, you've given your lunch away to the sea hunter. Exhausted, you get to the shore. Here, you meet a man. It says it was him who left you the MP3 player and the rope. He also wrote the code on the wall of the dungeon. Without a word, you kick him in the shins and he hobbles off. No, you don't, but I sure would. Anyway, you're glad that everything is over and just lie down on the sand. But the man tells you it's not the time to relax. Other tough tests are waiting for you. You hear bizarre sounds coming from the jungle. But that's another story, and this one is coming to an end. Time to find out your score. 0 to 4 points, don't get upset. You can do better, but it's a bad idea for you to go to magic castles. 5 to 8 points, not bad. You've proved that you're brave, but you were a little lacking in resourcefulness. You will solve other riddles better. 9 to 12 points, almost perfect. You've passed the test and proved that you can get out of any dangerous situation alive. 13 to 15 points. It's not you who should run away from the monsters. They should be wary of you. Any mystical castle can become your home. Hey, let's see how attentive you are. Now, you see these logos every day, but can you tell which one is correct? Let's start with Pringles. Which one do you choose? The correct logo is on the right. The original Pringles guy doesn't have a mouth, he only has a mustache. So how does he eat them? What about a Tesla logo? The correct one is on the left. Coca-Cola. What do you think? Right, that's an extra detail. The left logo is correct. Look at these two Sprite logos very closely. What's your choice? The left one, of course. And what about Pepsi? The correct color combination is on the left. You know the TikTok logo, don't you? There we go. The blue outline is at the top, while the red one at the bottom. Are you into online shopping? Duh. Can you spot the suitable eBay logo? The correct color sequence is red, blue, yellow, and green. What about AliExpress? Orange and red? Or maybe red and orange? Ah, this one. You probably recognize the Amazon logo. That's an extra detail. The left logo is correct. Look at these two Etsy logos. Which one is fake? The space between letters is too large in the left logo, and the right one is okay. What about everyone's favorite Netflix? These two seem identical, but they're not. The correct font is over here. Can you recognize the Crayola logo? Here it is. Let's move on and check your knowledge of clothing brands. Can you spot the correct Tommy Hilfiger logo? It's on the left, white and red. What about Lacoste? The crocodiles are identical, but the correct font is over here. Zara, what's your choice, right or left? The right one is correct. What about Gap? The correct one is on the left. American Eagle Outfitters. Which way does the eagle look? To the left, of course. What about Forever 21? What's your choice? The right logo is correct. Can you recognize Coach? Of course you can. It's this one. You probably recognize the correct H&M logo. Here it is. And what about Puma? Which wildcat silhouette is correct? This one. Which one of these Banana Republic logos truly exists? There it is. Now let's move on to guess. What's your guess? The left one? Yep. The distance between the letters is way too large in the right logo. What can you say about Tom Ford, left or right? Ah, this one. Can you recognize Hermes? It's this one. What about Kappa? The silhouettes of two people shouldn't be identical. That's why the original logo is on the right. Let's take a look at these two Converse logos. What's your choice? The left logo is correct. Converse Star has 5 points. What about Uniqlo? Yep, the left one is correct. This one is very easy, isn't it? Walmart logo has 6 rays, not 5. Can you recognize Crocs logo? This one, of course. No mistake can be made when it comes to Target, right? The correct proportions of circles are here. Next one is New Balance. The right one is true. And now, let's take a look at North Face. Any ideas? The correct logo should have 3 arcs. Let's move on and check the BMW logo. What's your choice? It's the left one. Can you recognize Ford? The left one is true. One more car here. What about Subaru? It was a tough one. The correct logo is on the right. Do you like fast food? The next logo is Subway. So, white and yellow or yellow and white. That's right, white and yellow. You've probably seen the Reddit logo quite a few times. The right one is correct. MasterCard. Any ideas? The right one, of course. What about the NBC logo? Do you remember the correct color sequence? Yellow, orange, and red plus purple, blue, and green. Look at these two Huawei logos. Which one is fake? Only the left one is correct. It should have 8 petals. Let's move on. Left or right? Alibaba has an orange logo. Do you remember the Firefox logo? The right one is correct. What about Dunkin' Donuts? The right one. Dunkin' is orange and Donuts is pink. Our next one is Taco Bell. This shape is wrong. The bell must be placed in an arch. What about Twix? Yeah, the right one. And what do you think about these two? In the original Skittles logo, rainbow colors go from red to purple. Can you recognize everyone's favorite Oreo cookies logo? This one, of course. Facebook, left or right? The right one is correct. What about YouTube? You probably see this logo every day. It's the first logo. Look at these two Cheetos logos. Can you spot the fake one? It's over here. The letters should have orange outlines instead of red. Now, let's make the task a little harder. Which one of these Burger King logos is original? Logo 3. What about Pizza Hut? There it is. Any ideas about KFC? Logo 4 is correct. Let's move on to Starbucks. There's only one original logo among these 4 options. Which one? The first one. What about Lipton? Logo 2 is correct. It has the right shade of yellow. And which one of these M&M's logos truly exists? Logo 2. Can you find the original Bounty logo? The third option is correct. You've probably been to IKEA at least once in your lifetime, but do you remember its logo? The fourth one. Can you recognize Colgate? Alright, it's the first logo. What about Oral-B? The second one is correct. Can you spot the original Blendamed? There it is. Enough with toothpaste. Now let's move on to Garnier. What's your choice? The third option is correct. Can you find the original Sephora logo? Logo 3 is correct. What about Maybelline? Any ideas? Here it is. Can you recognize the original NYX logo? The second one is correct. Can you find the original Visa logo? Don't peep into your wallet. Here it is. I bet you'll recognize Google even with your eyes closed. The second option. Can you find the original Apple? Here it is. What about Microsoft? Do you remember the correct color sequence? Here it is. Red, green, blue, and yellow. Nestle. There are 3 birds in the original logo. The third option is correct. Your subconscious mind probably remembers Nescafe logo in detail. Yeah, this one over here. Are you a sweet tooth? Also? Can you recognize Nesquik? Here it is. What about Milky Way? Ah, the third option is correct. Let's try Kit Kat. Any ideas? This one is correct. What about Kraft Singles? Yep, the first option is correct. Can you find the original Tropicana? The second option is correct. How about Hershey's Kisses? Option 4 is correct. Baskin-Robbins. Only the second option has the correct spelling. What about Halls? The first option is correct. Let's move on and check the Krispy Kreme Donuts logo. Any ideas? The fourth logo is correct. Lay's. What's your choice? Only the third option is correct. What about Belvita? This logo is correct. And what can you say about the Mars logo? Only the first one is correct. What about Walt Disney? Can you find the right castle? The fourth logo is original. Everybody knows the Orbit logo, right? Can you spot the original graphics? Here it is. Do you like gum? Then it won't be hard for you to find the correct Double Mint logo. The third option is correct. Any ideas about Mentos? The second logo is original. And what about Wendy's? Which portrait decorates the logo? The third lady is original. And finally, Instagram. This one is tricky because all the four logos look almost identical. This one is correct. Now let's check if you can recognize a brand even if we remove its name from the logo. Does this piece of contemporary art remind you of anything? Can you feel any magic scent? That's right, it's Jacob's. What about this one? Seven Days. Can you recognize this brand? It's DHL. Next one. Does this image remind you of something? Do you like juice? That's right, it's Del Monte. Can you recognize this one? It's Juicy Juice. This one is tough, but I believe in you. It's Boar's Head. What about this logo? Let me give you a hint. Chocolate, caramel, and pecans. That's right, it's turtles. Take a look at this yellow stuff. Any associations? Starburst. Can you recognize this logo? That's right, it's Tuck. Take a look at this image. Any ideas? It's NASA. Good job!